Welcome to Comfort Time with Aunty Yunike, where we share testimony stories. Our story for today is He Laughs. Who laughs? So I'm going to share with you the story of who laughs and why laughing is such a big deal in this situation. Why laughing is a deal breaker in this story. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please do give us a thumbs up, share so everybody can hear our stories. So the story I'm sharing is a sad one, but I think it was not necessary that it goes that way. But you know, brain is a complicated thing, so it's difficult to say what goes on in people's minds. But so what happened was, a friend of mine was in love, and we just loved them as a couple. Her boyfriend was also studying medicine. She was studying medicine. They were a brilliant couple, and they were together for quite some time, courted for quite a long time. Eventually, when the man finished his doctorate, he was ready and waiting for the girlfriend, the fiancé, then to also finish. So when she finished, he wanted to specialize in pediatrics. So he went to specialize. When he came back, they got married. And when they got married, she also wanted to specialize in gynecology. So she went and did her training, finished. Then they came back together and they had a son. And we just used to have fun. And so we had doctors, both doctors as friends. We didn't have to worry. We could have free consultations, and also it was a very nice couple and a good addition to our group. Then she told me I'm traveling, and she was traveling for something for about a few days. Well, like, okay. So the husband said, no, it's not a problem. Like always, I'll remain with the baby. But of course, we were there to help out. And before we knew it, she was back. Now she's back. And the husband was working night shift when she was away. So he decided, you know what, when I'm done with my night shift, I get a few days off. You two get a few days off so that we get to spend time together. So she got her few days off, and she was at home taking care of the baby and waiting for the husband to also have his time out so that they could really treat themselves. And so that's what happened. So he comes home and he's like, yep, I'm free. But because she had another function, he said, let's meet for dinner and really celebrate ourselves, and we're going to stay at the hotel. So they arranged that. They told us, we said, okay, we might meet you for drinks, but we will not stay for dinner. But eventually we decided, no, let's give them some space. So we didn't even join them for the drinks. So he went and started waiting for her to join him. And eventually she finished with her program, and she decided she would join him at the restaurant. And she goes to the restaurant. She didn't call him. She said, oh, I'm sure I won't miss him. I'll be able to see him. So she goes to the restaurant, goes to the entrance, and she sees her husband. And he was laughing so hard that he was throwing his head back. And according to her, he must even have had tears in his eyes. That's how happy he was. She says, I froze. I stood at the entrance looking at him, and he was laughing because someone else had joined him while waiting for her, of course. And he was laughing so hard. He was so happy. I had never seen him that happy. I couldn't even proceed. She says, from there, I turned back and went home. When I went home, I sat and cried. She said, I cried so hard I could not believe that my husband laughs. So when she was telling me, I was like, okay, shouldn't you find out what he was laughing about? Maybe you can start cracking similar jokes and making laugh. Says you don't understand. He was happy, happier than I had ever seen him. So now what I did is packed my bags and I was just waiting for him to come back. She says she called him to say, oh, I will not be coming. Something came up. Please have your meal and we'll talk when you come home later. So when he went home, her bags were packed. And he was like, what did I do? She said, you were laughing. And he was like, oh, please. So what's going on? So she says, you know, I have never seen you that happy. So I think it's my fault. It's because you live with me that you don't laugh. I want to leave so that I can see you happy. So I'm leaving. And the guy was like, I don't even understand what you're on about. And then I can explain what the joke was about if you like. She was like, no, I don't even want to know. All I'm saying is I'm leaving. I want us to remain friends, but I want you to be happy. Believe it or not, she left. The guy was so confused. He tried a few weeks later, came to the friends, explained. We tried to talk to her, but her mind was made up. She said, I'm the one who makes him unhappy. I want him to be happy. So eventually, yeah, the divorce went through. She's on her own. She never remarried, but of course he remarried about 2 years later. He got tired of pleading and decided to find someone else. And that's how he got married. So they co-parent, they are good friends, but there was no stopping her from her decision. So now the moral of this story is we are all wounded, we all carry different baggage. I think we need to be able to address what our baggages or what our wounds are. From what my friend did, from her reaction, I felt that she had some unhealed inner wounds, maybe childhood wounds, maybe relationship wounds that she needed to deal with and had never dealt with them. Maybe also the husband, was it difficult for him to laugh like that in the presence of his wife, that seeing him laugh traumatized us so much. So can we take time to look at our wounds, different wounds? We shouldn't brush off painful experiences. We should, in fact, address them. When something painful comes to mind, ask yourself, why is this hurting me? Why does this thought trigger me? Have it addressed, think about it, let it flow through you. Maybe talk about it with someone, maybe go to a counselor or just a friend and talk about it. You find that it's something that you can get over, because it was not necessary that that relationship comes to an end just because someone feels crowding his space, making him miserable, when that was not the case. So, like has been said before, what happened to you in your past, in your childhood, in other relationships was not your fault. But healing is your responsibility. So take responsibility and get yourself healed so that you are able to pour from a full cup. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. Don't go around wounding other people just because you were wounded. I hope this helps you to look at your life critically and see what you can do to empower yourself, for the reason of making yourself happy first. First it's yourself, then others. You need to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you can not love anybody else. So you have to pour from what you have. This is our story for today. It's a sad story, ended badly, but it could have been avoided had both taken the responsibility of dealing with their inner wounds. Comfort Time continues. Stay blessed. Give us a thumbs up. Share our videos. See you in the next video.